how I would invest in Pokemon cards in 2026, knowing what I know now. I think the first thing I want to premise this whole video is off the fact that the market has cycles. And that's what this video is all about. It's about saying, well, 2026 is tough. There's still a fight for product. It feels like there's still way too much still way too much demand for the amount of supply there is. And as a result, everything is expensive. So how do we tackle Pokemon investing in 2026? How do we make the most of it? How do we get the best gains? Let's jump straight into it. Now, with that first point I made, the market has cycles. This is a massive bull market. Arguably, you'd say, other than maybe Pokemon's inception when, Base, Jungle, Fossil, Team Rocket came out, this is the biggest bull run we've ever seen for an extended period of time. Like, I don't think the COVID bull market was even as strong or as hyped or supply affected as what we're seeing now. And the gains we've seen across sealed product, I don't even think when Pokemon Go came out and XY Evolutions came out, the demand was as strong as what it is now. It is absolutely bonkers. But I need to remind people that the market has cycles. It can't stay this up forever. And I guess you can't say, what goes up must come down. Maybe we get a correction. Then you begs the question, where's the correction come from? And most people, including myself, have been saying for quite some time that this market correction isn't going to come until maybe we have a run of a few bad sets. And here's exactly how I see the market correction coming if that does happen. And of course, I'll get into how we should invest in Pokemon shortly. I want to premise the video off this point, is that what's happened is the perfect storm, really. Because ultimately, when you look at the machine, the machine is this hierarchy of product that gets passed down to the consumer. And really, it starts at the top where it gets created. Of course, there's head honchos that decide what cards we have, the artists design them, they get printed, they then go to distributors, distributors pass them out to stores, whether it's brick and mortar, online, etc., to then sell to consumers, which is essentially you and I. And throughout that process, what happens is everything's become interrupted. The supply chain is affected because there's just not enough of it. There's not enough supply to go around. And when that happens, people will spend whatever they can to try and get product. And when people are spending more, there's bigger margins in that product. Something that you might have made very thin or no margins off in the past, there's now big margins in it. And everyone knows that. So what do? Everyone makes up stories or signs up or tells fibs or tells the honest truth to get access to distribution. And when they have that, there's more and more accounts out there, isn't there? There's more and more, the slice of the pie gets thinner and thinner. And then what happens is we're going to need to have some bad sets come along. And look, I don't see that happening anytime soon. There's talks of obviously, the Rayquaza and Groudon and Kyogre based set coming out. There's 30th anniversary. Where are the bad sets coming from? That's the big question. Who knows? Maybe Pokemon are just like, we can hold on to this for as long as we possibly can. And, the new printing facilities will help with that. They have figured out what creates this perfect scenario. But what will happen is eventually, a bear market will come, whether it's a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, I don't know. It eventually will come. And when it does, it's because of that scenario. When you can't make cheap money anymore, when you can't make quick money anymore, a lot of those distribution accounts will shut off, and therefore more supply goes to the normal long-term ones. And when they have more supply, they're going to have to go up against each other to drop prices to sell and move that product on. And then we're going to see a reduction in the prices of product. But until that happens, everything's going to stay up there, as we're seeing at the moment. Perfect Order, there's probably the first example, right? So Perfect Order is about to hit us. It's a booster box set. It doesn't seem like a huge set, but it also doesn't seem like a good set. You compare it to Ascended Heroes, you compare it to what people are probably saving their money for in the future, like 30th anniversary and, the Kyogre, Groudon, Rayquaza based set. And people are going, well, what's the point of wasting our money on Perfect Order? What are we going to pull? The Zygarde and the Mega Starmie? And it's just like, well, already we can see pre-orders for that is the lowest pre-order price we've seen for a booster box in a long, long time because it's an average set. And I think that's all we really need. 1 or 2 average sets in a row, those people that have jumped on for quick money in the distribution pool will jump back out, and all of a sudden there'll be more stock freed up. That's what will happen, and then the market cycle will change. I'm not saying it's going to become a bear market. I'm not going to say we're going to dip massively, but the market has cycles, and we even saw that leading into Christmas. You know, people were spending their money elsewhere because they've got holidays coming up, Christmas presents to buy, whatever it might be. They weren't focusing so much on Pokemon cards, and as a result, what did we see? A small retraction in the market. A lot of things, sealed products, singles, hits, everything, slabs, had come down about 10 to 15% across the board. And what do we know? It rebounded like normal. That is market cycles. So what do we do then? With all that in mind, exactly what do we do? The first thing I wanted to actually talk about was singles. And then we'll get into the main topic or main part of the video, which will be on sealed. So with singles, I want to talk about a couple of things. One is the fact that singles are very volatile. Typically, of course, if you've watched this channel before, it's bread and butter, it's line and length. If you're into the Pokemon card hobby, you already know this. But if you're new here, this will help you. As soon as a set first comes out, singles are of course going to be at an all-time high because there's not much supply. PSA 10 copies will be an all-time high because there's not much supply. As more and more gets opened and more singles hit the market, there's more supply in the market, pricing should typically drop. And eventually it'll reach some sort of equilibrium until maybe more supply hits the market and it might dip a little bit more. We see it with everything. We've seen it with Surging Sparks, we've seen it with Prismatic Evolutions, we've seen it across the history of Pokemon, that as more supply comes out, prices drop a little bit until that supply starts to dry up, and then typically they can rebound and start going back up in price. So when it comes to investing in singles, just keep that in mind, particularly modern singles. Now, contradictory to that, I think from an investing standpoint, if you can fork out that level of money, vintage PSA 10s have really cemented their place as a piece of artwork. And I think this year more than ever, it's proven that. We saw it with the Logan Paul Pikachu Illustrator PSA 10. We've seen it with first edition Charizard sales. We've seen it with PSA 10 copies of Gold Stars. Vintage PSA 10s with low populations that are popular are cementing their place as fantastic pieces of artwork that people want to cherish. Like they're almost a piece of modern treasure, so to speak. So that is one other thing I'll say about singles. I do think those those vintage rare PSA 10s that are popular, in 5 years' time or 10 years' time, are going to be so much more valuable than what they are now, because they are seen as a time capsule, a piece of modern nostalgia, modern artwork that people will want to lock away. So that's what I will say about modern singles and vintage singles. Now moving on to sealed. How do we go about investing in sealed product in 2026? Before we do that, I just wanted to give a shout out to Collectr, which is of course the video sponsor. There'll be a link in the description to download it. This is the perfect spot for putting in all your singles and all your sealed product. It is a one-stop app to shop, to store in singles and sealed product. You can look at so much data. You can jump into any set, English or Japanese. You can look at set analytics. You can see what singles and sealed product are going for. If you're a pro member, it gives you so much more access to more data. You can go so far back in time to see the history of PSA graded cards, singles, and of course your sealed collection. You can see the total value that your sealed collection is going for. You can even look up things now like whether it's a fair trade or not. So I'm trading this and that person's giving me that. Is that a fair trade? Like the app will tell you if it's a fair trade. Such a good app. Again, link in the description to download it. So this is my take on how you should invest in 2026. If you can buy anything that is coming out of the gate, like Ascended Heroes for argument's sake, or Perfect Order, and you can buy it at retail, I'd say go for it. But I wouldn't say go for it in terms of buying sets that are just coming out at overinflated prices off the secondary market. If you need to, for whatever reason, to scratch an itch because you want to open something or whatever it might be, then of course go for it. But in terms of purely investment purposes, no attachment to the sets, purely I'm parking my money with the intention to try and make more of it, which is what an investment is, then I wouldn't be investing heavy in overpriced modern, particularly sets or more so sets that are just coming out. Now let me give you an example of that. Why, unless you can buy Ascended Heroes at retail and you're happy to sit it on a long period of time, there's every chance Ascended Heroes will be reprinted multiple times like Prismatic Evolutions. It'll be super popular. People will be chasing these cards. Like, give the people as many as what they want. Why would you buy an Elite Trainer box at like $140, $150 US at launch? Like, yes, if you're happy, if you're lucky enough to get it off Pokemon Center, if you're lucky enough to get it from big box retailers and you pre-ordered and you can get it for like 60, 70 US dollars, or here in Australia, we could get them for 100 Australian dollars if we, pre-ordered or got access to the right local card shops, which is about 60 to 70 US dollars, then by all means go for it. But 140, 150, 120, whatever they're going for on the secondary market, that's too much money. Like, why wouldn't you buy Crown Zenith, even if it's costing you a tiny bit more? Crown Zenith has a whole generation plus a few sets between Ascended Heroes and itself. It has age on its side. And you know what? It's every bit as good a set as Ascended Heroes. I just don't get these people spending massive amounts of money on overpriced modern in a bull market where if it retracts like that, you're going to be stuck sitting on product for probably 3 or 4 years before it moves in price. Now look, if the bull market continues, we see something like Destined Rivals. So there, of course, there's outliers, and Destined Rivals is well and truly an outlier. But then you look at something like Phantasmal Flames, and the price of a Phantasmal Flames booster box is astronomical in comparison to something like, you can go all the way back to Sword and Shield, and you can pick up a set like Astral Radiance or even Battle Styles for the same price or a tiny bit more than what you can buy Phantasmal Flames for. That has literally a whole era and a half between those boxes and these boxes. Phantasmal Flames might not ever get reprinted. It might also get a massive reprint that floods the market again with booster boxes. I don't know, you don't know. What we do know though is that Astral Radiance and Battle Styles will never get reprinted. Do they have as good a chase card as Phantasmal Flames? No. Are they better sets? I mean, that's debatable. Do they have more depth? I think Astral Radiance does, but Phantasmal Flames, of course, clearly has that holy grail Charizard. Like, it's a once-in-a-generation card, that it's a phenomenal chase card. But you get the point I'm trying to make. When it comes to investing in sealed in 2026, it makes way more sense to go back in time and buy sets with age on their side that have no risk of being reprinted. Even buying earlier Scarlet and Violet sets, even maybe all the way up to booster boxes like Twilight Masquerade and Surging Sparks. Like, Surging Sparks is a no-brainer. Surging Sparks is cheaper than Phantasmal Flames. Why would you stock up on the I shouldn't say overpriced, the current market price of Phantasmal Flames when you could buy Surging Sparks at the current market price that it is? Like, they have time on their side, they have age on their side, and particularly ladder Sword and Shield sets. Like, I've said it 10 times on this channel this year already. This will be the year for Sword and Shield. Trust me on that. Brilliant Stars, Astral Radiance, Silver Tempest, Fusion Strike, Lost Origin, Chilling Reign, they are all going to become quite expensive booster boxes come Christmas time in 2026. Yes, they're a little bit dear now. Yes, you might not want to pay that much, but in terms of purely dollars, okay, I'm just plucking one out of the air, buying Brilliant Stars at 500 versus buying Phantasmal at 300, like, it just has more opportunity and time on its side, and safer, in my opinion, than buying these ultra-modern booster boxes in a bull market at overinflated prices. And look, they could do it, like, I'm not saying it's impossible. They could do a Destined Rivals. Maybe Phantasmal Flames booster boxes never gets a reprint. And maybe even the Elite Trainer boxes don't. And they're like, we're going to focus everything on Ascended Heroes and beyond. And Phantasmal Flames just gets left there as this short printed set with a miracle Charizard inside it. Well, okay, maybe the booster boxes go to $1,000 very quickly. But the safer bet is to buy the older sets. By all means, buy Phantasmal, a case if you want, at launch. Buy Perfect Order, a case at launch, where you can pre-order it for a very reasonable price. By all means, do that. But in terms of paying these overpriced market prices, definitely go to the older stuff. That is my advice for investing in both singles and sealed in 2026. I'm Michael, this is PokeOz. Thank you so much everyone for tuning in. It really means a lot. I'll catch everyone next time.